So ENFJ, what is exactly ENFJ? Like, what does it stand for? So if anyone doesn't know the personality test, ENFJ is E for extrovert, right? Extroverted people, let's just talk about extroverted people. Extroverted people are really cool. I'm very extroverted in the sense, get me talking about a subject matter, and I'll express myself very well. Extroverted people do this too, though, so let's get more into it. So, extroverted people usually speak their mind as they're thinking, right? More introverted people just kind of hold it to themselves. And in some aspects, they're super lucky. I'm jealous in the sense, like, I'm always vocalizing usually how I feel, what I'm thinking, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes I can say some stupid stuff that I'm later on are kind of like, why did I exactly say that? So that kind of summarizes the extroverted part. Introverted. Thinking happens, but it's not, how to say this, it's my second nature, if that makes sense. So extroverted people, we really need to actually learn, well, maybe we should pause a little before we think, and we can talk a little wiser because of it, right? Intuition. So we have E-in. Intuition is basically, I use my gut feeling, as they will say. I use it a lot. And that's not a bad thing, because it's about to tie into the next one, F. I'm very emotional, so I sense things very well. But I sense things with a lot of compassion. And the intuition is more or less you're taking concepts, right? And you're like really viewing it large scale, right? And then you're coming down and you're focalizing it. So like, we are more perspective based. Don't get me wrong, other personality types that are the S in that area for sensing, they're more critical, more logical, and because of this, they are very needed in society and very well to associate with. To be fully frank with you, I'm not too familiar with hanging around too many people that have the S sensing factor. That I'm aware of, that is. I've been around a lot of people that have intuition, and I love it. Like, their opinions matter deeply, and it's great. And sensing people, don't get me wrong, they have this intuition within themselves too, but again, it's like more like their secondhand nature. Kind of like for me, introverted thinking or mindset oriented is my secondhand kind of like go-to. Then we have feeling, kind of touch based on it. So feeling, like I'm really, really emotional. I think that ties into me being very intuition based. I think it ties in a lot. So I feel before I think, and now that can be bad in the sense sometimes you really should be thinking before you allow your feelings to take ownership, right? But I really, really allow my feelings to guide a lot of what I do, and because of it, I can have great passion. Now, the J factor. The J factor is, think of it as a circle. I do a full circle on every single matter of life. Every single matter of life. Like, no matter how small or big it is, I fully think it, conclude, and move on. And not necessarily move on, it's just I speak then with confidence behind me. A lot of people that are more precision based, that's not the right word, what am I saying? More perspective based slash, come on, I should know this word. Let it settle a sec. People that are more perspective based are thinking longer out. Now, within this thinking of longer out, how to say this? I do the same thing, I just always come to a conclusion. I feel like other personality types with the P are more in the middle zone, as in when they speak and opinionate stuff, they're leaving room for like, well, there might be more. And it's something that ENFJs, we really need to learn, because we're not always right, we're never going to always be right, and frankly no one is, right? So that kind of gives you an opening runway to ENFJ. Now, how do I really think as a whole, and like what is pretty cool about my personality type? So I gave, I guess, a decent run around of like how things operate and work, but for me, I guess passion leads me because I'm feeling based, right? It leads me a lot, and I love it, because some people or other personality types I don't think have as high of a passion as ENFJs, That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just with our feelings and with our intuition, when we're in group settings, we really are allowing ourselves to vocalize stuff because we're extroverted, so we're able to take the spotlight and like lead it because we have deep levels of intuition. We can just talk one-on-one with someone and really instantly understand them, connect really well. A lot of the times for me, frankly, I am lost in my head, and it's a bad thing, but like usually if I'm in the moment and like really live in the moment, I bring a lot of energy to it. I bring a lot of excitement and a lot of just, you know, new perspectives. That's one thing ENFJs really love to do. We love to just kind of like feel no judgment towards us, feel no pressure towards us, just allow us to have our space, our moment, and we do really well. I think a lot of personality types are like this. T personalities, I think, might be better under pressure. The reason why F personality types, like myself, aren't so much is because of our feelings. We're super, super emotional, that we sometimes let that control us. Now, don't get me wrong, I can switch and be very, very critical. I can be very T-oriented, very just thinking, and I shut my emotions off. But I can't do it for long just because that isn't my domain preference of thinking. You know, I allow my emotions to really tell me deep, personal stuff. And I think it helps with every single situation. We have very high EQs because of this, because of our intuition and our feelings. This allows us to have great high EQs. I think with our extroverted ability, we're able to then express this outward. And then with the J factor, allows us to always speak with confidence and lead others on. Sometimes we will say stuff that, we will say stuff with the hesitance of like, well, maybe I don't know this. Maybe it could be this way. Or you see me just recently, back in the video, I stumbled on the P. I forgot what the word actually meant. But if you notice how I went into it with confidence, but then after I said it, the T part of me came in and was like, wait, no, that's not correct. Let's change this. And you can really tell with a lot of feeling and P-oriented people, their voice of tone is so much lighter. Like, I don't know if anyone has ever really paid attention. Be around someone with a FP in their initials of, you know, the personality type, and they're really soft-spoken. 9 out of 10. Now, don't get me wrong, you have J people that are very soft-spoken too, because of basically, I think more or less shyness. And usually more J people that are introverted are more like this. They have a very shy voice because they haven't found their voice. But find a extroverted JP. Whoa, I'm saying that wrong. Find an extroverted FP, the TP, and they're soft-spoken usually more or less. Find a personality type with a FJ, the TJ, and when they say stuff, you hear the difference of confidence behind them. You always hear it. You feel, if you're in the room, you feel like, wow, they really are voicing themselves, and it's believable because they have confidence in themselves. With me, depending on my level of belief in myself in the current situation or moment, determines a lot. I've learned, don't overanalyze and don't think too much, just do it. Let your mind just flow. Let your mind just do its thing, more or less. And I think every personality type needs to really lean on this hard. Because, don't get me wrong, it's good to pause and rethink. Like for me, this is going to just blow people away, like, whoa, is it possible? I want to change my personality type to be IE, so introverted, thinking before extroverted. I think it'd be really smart. I want to have intuition, but I want to have sensing. Intuition and F go really well together because you have feelings that tie into your gut, which tie into intuition. Then you have sensing, which is really good with T thinking because it's just small multitasking in the moment lifetime for like data analyzing, stuff like that. A very beautiful fit. And then I want to be more PJ in the sense I want to allow a lot more thinking to take place before I fully come to a conclusion. And I think that's a very healthy personality type. So to summarize that, I want IE in as FT then PJ. Yeah, long and confusing, I reckon. But I want that to be my natural, just boom. I think that way. And I've been slowly trying to integrate that in. And it's hard because it's taking a lot of mindset in the sense there's a time and place to talk with a lot of confidence, to talk with that bold, more sharp, cut edge kind of tone of voice. I don't know if anyone ever hears it, but then there's also time and place to talk in a loving and caring voice. If you talk with a caring and loving voice, people respond way better compared to, oh, go do that, or I think blah 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 blah, and you say it with just a tone of voice that doesn't have a F/P perspective to it, or tone of voice. And I guess what I mean by that is, if you say something with feelings, but then also with room that you might have more to say, or there might be more to what is being said, other people are going to notice it and they're going to respond better. For me, my biggest issue, and I think a lot of ENFJ's issues, is we do say stuff with a lot of confidence, and people with F feeling, natural base tendencies, I think we sometimes hurt their feelings. And then we're F sensing ourselves, like we really are emotional. Like, if anyone has, I don't think too many people have seen my crazy emotional side unless you tap into my writing. I kind of express it pretty well in there, but in person I'm very well hidden to that, just because society teaches don't show too much emotion, it's weakness. I don't believe that, but for a while I did, so I suppressed my emotions, and suppressed my emotions, and suppressed my emotions, and now I gotta kind of like edge them out to balance them out, so it's more, it's okay to be expressive, it's okay to cry, it's okay to say that isn't right, that is hurting me, or it's just okay to show emotion. Nothing's wrong with showing emotion. Emotion is the truest beauty there is, because it's your heart talking. So ENFJs, we tend to think a ton. Like, people would almost think, yo man, you have a T in your thinking process. We kind of do, because we just think and think and think and think and overanalyze like crazy. We do this based off our minds spin fast. I mean, maybe that's not a best way to put it, but we spin and think a lot. Basically because I think with our personality type and how we think and how we grow to develop such a personality type, I don't want to get into all of that. It's just a default we have. Anyone who has my favorite people are people that have intuition, feeling base, and perspective. J is good too, because that means you're confident and you're going to speak your mind. That's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I love sensorizing people, but again, I haven't been around too many, and maybe it's because I talk a lot of soul talk. I talk really deep in with emotions, and I don't think sensorizing people or sensing people are so into that. If I'm wrong, please correct me, or come talk to me. Let's have a conversation. I love people with a T factor too, just because sometimes myself, I notice I'm in too much of a thinking mode, so I do sometimes say stuff and I forget to add the emotion to it, kind of like I was saying prior, and it sucks because maybe it's just my personality, but I think a lot of people with similar personalities like mine, we say stuff and then we have a lot of regret, because we reflect back and we're like, crap man, I could have said that, or I should have said that, or maybe I should have said that a little softer. And bugs are going everywhere. ENFJs are awesome though. Like, we really are. We're geniuses. A lot of us are. And that's me getting a little cocky there, I reckon. But no, we're really bright. Every ENFJ I've been around, since they have intuition, since they're extroverted, and since they have that feeling base in the judging base, as they're processing anything they go through, they're gaining knowledge every single second of the day, if they train their minds to collect the knowledge, that is, collect the intuition. I love again introverted people, because I think they have a lot of, they got deep roots to themselves, very deep roots to themselves, and I think because of this, they have deep roots to life itself. The problem is to engage them into a conversation, to get them actually talking. Like, it's hard, very hard. Some introverted people, it's incredibly hard. I've tried to summarize though. I know this is a long video. Summarize though. ENFJs, we are amazing in social settings. We really are. For me, I'm in the middle. I'm very introverted at times, and I haven't been super social. I haven't been super sociable lately, and because of it, has hindered my extroverted abilities. And kind of sucks, but as time goes on, people will see more what I'm talking about of what our potential is and whatnot. We like progress. We like anything that has constant change, because we're just always thinking and processing and understanding and moving forward. We love to take charge because of the J factor. We are just naturally good at it. We are able to be around a ton of people and just understand how they're feeling, what they're feeling. And that is if we train ourselves to not look at ourselves but look at them, and then we just naturally do this. We're very caring, very sensitive because of the F and all. Other personality types, by all means, have a lot of what I'm talking about in them. Trust me, so don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. In relationships, we are very... Since we have high levels of emotions, high levels of intuition, high levels of pretty much everything to us, we make a relationship of any form, but like say with a significant other, that is, we make it our priorities to please. We want to please everyone because we absolutely hate drama. We absolutely hate anything that involves tension. Some people might be like, whoa, really, is that true? Because you sometimes are kind of drama-ish. Like, I've been told that, I should say. And I like change, and I like progress, and I like the transformation. So I guess with my J factor and my extroverted factor, if there's a problem and there's a way to change it, I will make a change. I will speak my mind and make stuff happen if possible. I've learned you can't force no one to do stuff, and I don't want to force anyone to do anything, but I will at least say it. And I'm always the bad guy because of this, and that's okay. I don't mind being the bad guy. I'm helping you. I've definitely carefully analyzed what was going on. Definitely had good insight, very good insight. You just neglected to realize I got those perspectives that you need, and you could use them, because I need them. I need them all the time, but not too many people are brave enough to actually say them to me. Back to relationships and whatnot. We focus to please, to serve, but we're very, very extroverted, meaning we need feedback. We need someone to talk to us and tell us how they're feeling. If they're not telling us how we're feeling, we're going to use our imagination and just assume. And this is horrible in actually relationships. This is a significant other. If there's no communication, it won't work between us, just because we can't live off no communication. We need to know how you're feeling all the time. Like, you might think you're talking our ears off. You're not. We can understand it, and we need it to help you, because we want to serve you. That's who we are. In return, we actually really don't ask for too much back. We actually don't, because we're very well able to just manage ourselves. Very well capable. We love basically to be understood, listened to, and appreciated. But communication is the key factor for ENFJs that I know of. For myself, that's definitely true. We like genuineness. We love it. We love this across the board. We can read if someone's fake very quickly because of our intuition and our feelings. We have very good levels of understanding how we feel, and because of this, we can sense how others are feeling based off reflecting, saying how I felt this before, blah, blah, blah. I can see how you're feeling. Or you express something and we can experience it, or we have experienced it before. And like I said, since we do a full circle around the whole spectrum of our mindsets, we understand. We understand very well. And don't get me wrong, I think a lot of other personality types do this. Just ENFJs do it very well. That's all I can say. And not just ENFJs, there's other personality types, but I'm just really leaning on ENFJs right now. Our highlights are: give us a problem and we'll solve it. We'll make it our duty to not just solve it, we'll try to do our best. And if possible, we'll do better than you told us to do. That's just how we are. Part of that might not just be personality type. Maybe part of that's just for me personally, my morals, my codes, the books I live by, and the rules I guide myself by. Yeah, I think that's a good way to summarize it. We love to serve and lead, and we think of others all the time in the process, because We can see something for like 10 or 15 seconds and we can understand it. Bam. We can talk to someone for 4 seconds or less and really pretty much almost connect to the point with feeling what they're feeling. You know, we have very well levels of empath ability, if you will. Some people might not understand what that is, but I won't get onto that for the moment. ENFJs overall are really, really cool. And one thing you have to know about ENFJs, as this video really expresses and tells, we just go and go and go and go and go because we want you to understand that much. We want you to be able to walk away feeling like you gained something. We don't want to be overbearing, but we need that feedback again to be like, oh yeah, we understand, but you need to tell us that. And I don't know if anyone has ever told you this, and this is not ENFJ related, but communication related. If you're talking to someone, repeat what they're saying back in other words, so then they're like, oh, I really know you're understanding what I'm saying. You don't have to do this all the time for every single thing they're saying, but revoice it in a way that shows you understand. Because if not, ENFJs especially, we're going to keep saying the same thing over and over and over, but every single time in a little different way, just to hope you understand. I've been accused of, Johnny, you've said this now how many freaking times? I'm like, in my mind, I've only said it once that way. I'm just turning the perspective wheel until something clicks within your eyes, within yourself. Overall, ENFJs, myself, we love genuineness, we love connection, we love to serve, we love to protect, and we take high honor in doing all this. And because of it, we are your leaders and mentors and teachers, and we are very well capable of handling a lot, if with the proper training, of course, but also with people allowing us to have our room to do us and believe in us. One thing ENFJs can do very well, and I'll just hit on this for 2 seconds. If you doubt us and give us any kind of negative feelings, we have the capability of feeling and seeing what you're seeing and almost wondering, is this me? As in, our empath ability is that well. And again, people might not understand that. I've had to learn to detach myself from a lot of people because of this and like ask myself, no, this is who I am. I'm thinking too much into this moment. Back out. Get into your own bubble. And this is really, really important for ENFJs, but other personality types too. Again, I hope this video is helpful to anyone, and you might want to be ENFJ if you finish this whole video. If not, you probably like an ENFP, or you're INFP. A lot of T people, well, T people might be into this, but not so much because too much emotions might be expressed, or opinions, and they're like, where's the logic? Sensorizing people will be like, where's the logic, man? Where's your point? Get to the point. But again, I am who I am, and I love it. But I gotta learn, and we all gotta learn, regardless of your personality type, what works for you. How does your mind work? How can you better improve your operating system within here? My operating system runs really high on the ENFJ factors, but it's more complicated than that, as we all are aware. So thank you.